Hi everyone, my name is Carla Pettit. I'll be joining this season with the Larapinta for 2025. My favourite walk is New Zealand, the Milford Sound and the Kepler track, as well as the Hollywood track. They're probably my highlight tours. Um, I would I would often say that my favourite walk is Larapinta, but I think that's been a bit biased, seeing that I'm a guide this season. But I really love Larapinta. It's quite special to me, and I know quite a lot about the plants and the environment in this area. So I'm really excited to be doing this season and sharing the things that I love. My wish list is Ningaloo Reef. I haven't been to Western Australia on any of the Life's Adventure tours, so it'd be nice to go over there at some point. Yeah.
In Alice. Basically, I love Lara Pinton. I think it's believe it or not, every time when you look in the world and you Google top 10 or top 20 walks in the world, Lara Pinta consistently comes up as one of the world's best walks. It is a 223-kilometre walk from Alice to Mount Sonder. And basically, we've picked the five best days, and they're very varied. So, one's a mountain day, one's a riverine kind of walk, another day is going from high to low, and then you've got to do the accounts point walk. So we're just picking the best walks. Can we go back? Uh, sorry. Um, Yeah, usually the season is from June to August, and believe it or not, it's quite cold overnight. That's why we have all the creatures' comforts. We do have water bottles for all the people in, and so it does go, so it can get below zero overnight. But believe it or not, because it's actually in the desert, it actually gets really warm quickly. As soon as that sun comes up, it can get to 20 to 25 degrees very quickly. So, in particular, on one of the days when we do Mount Sonder, we get up early to beat that heat, and we're doing Mount Sonder in the cool early morning. But yeah, do take warm clothes with you. We'll talk more about this. But I just wanted to really say that we have two walks. One's quite would it be the cheapest walk that you could do out of all our competitors, and it's our 5-day Larapinta walk in comfort. So if you're doing that, that's 4 days camping in Ormiston Gorge. And believe it or not, I think it's absolutely brilliant tour because you're actually camped in Ormiston Gorge, which is gorgeous spot. Carla's got it behind her, but it's one of the beautiful water holes of Larapinta. And so while the guides are cooking, you can just dip into that. And we've got exclusive use of that area in an exclusive place. And I think it's, you're not stuck in a dirty dust bowl. Um, you're right next to Ormiston Gorge, which is absolutely stunning spot. So I think our camping location's great. And yeah, it's in comfort. It's not your usual camping spot. Okay, next. Yeah, so that gives you a bit of an idea of our tent. It's a four-man tent there. It's got standing room, so when you get changed in the morning or undressing, you can do it standing up. So it's not a dome tent where you're dressing up on your back and on your side. You can do it standing up, which is great. And we just put, you can see inside that tent, there's a stretcher. This is not camping. It's beyond camping. There's a stretcher, and then there's a mattress on top of the stretcher, and then we put a light blanket, a sheet over the mattress, and you got a pillow and you got a sleeping bag. So I think it's quite posh actually, and pretty cool way to camp. So and look at the surrounding; it's just beautiful. That's an early morning shot, and yeah, the photo below above it is Ormston Gorge. So beautiful ghost gums around Ormiston Gorge. And that's actually a walk we do on one of the days. So the 5 day Larapinta in Comfort basically starts, Alice Springs early. We get to meet everybody, go through a quick briefing at the Doubletree, and then we're off. Along the way, maybe, yeah, I'm just giving a brief overview. We do 5 days walks, and then we finish back at the Doubletree. Um, and that's some of the campsite. And the guides are cooking beautiful food. A lot of the feedback we get every year is the food that's on camp. And I'm bragging here, but the food on camp is better than the restaurants. So we do pride ourselves on the food. So yeah, sorry, Carla, you got to something to look forward to. Next.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, so yeah, that's just giving you a bit of an idea of how they do the food. You got nice wines that the guides actually go and buy in Clare Valley on the way there. So they get really good wines. That's a cheese platter and some wines. So it's quite civil. And then as you can see, they've got a rice dish, and they've got some different foods, and it's a bit of a smorgasbord to eat. Um, we have a campfire. I've talked about the sleeping arrangements. And the great thing about that site as well is that it has on-site showers and toilets. So, um, yeah, last year I think one of the showers wasn't working. It was cold, but it wasn't. Cold in Larapinta isn't that bad. It's quite refreshing. But yeah, they're lukewarm, but they're pretty good. They are normal campground sort of showers, so you do need that. But hey, you might want to just jump in Ormiston Gorge. That's just as refreshing. Anything else you wanted to add to that, Carla, about the experience of camping and cooking?
The camping, I can pretty much say that we've got all the creature comforts in place so that it's pretty much like glamping in a way. The thing that I love the thing that I love about the camping is that it's all solar power. So we don't have any generators on. So you get the proper quiet and peacefulness of the beautiful Ormiston Gorge. And yeah, it's really nice and laid back, and it's quite chilled after a big long day's walk. And the greatest thing, and one thing I always encourage with a lot of our guests is when we get back from any of our walks, is that you take a plunge in Ormiston Gorge, because the best way to relax those muscles and aches and pains after a long day is in the water. It's like a lovely ice bath. So, we all sort of brave it, and it's a lot of fun. It's really lovely and relaxing. Yeah.
Could you also tell the participants about the menu?
Yeah, the menu that we have is that we will be cooking one night about an Indian sort of meal, or an Afghan sort of meal, I should say, because the Afghans have had a lot of influence in that area with the camels. And another thing that we will be cooking is an outback meat. So things like kangaroo, possibly crocodile sausages. We'll see how we go. If you're not a meat eater, that is totally okay, because we accommodate for any dietary requirements. Vegetarian, vegan, you name it. We'll have everything in place to make sure that you have the right food. And if you've got any allergies, obviously in your forms, you'll let us know. We should be aware of. But the food is amazing. And we do breakfast, lunch, and dinner out at Ormiston Gorge on the first 2 days. And we definitely make sure that you eat plenty, because you need all the energy to be able to do the walks. We want to make sure that you're eating well. Yeah. Anything else to add, Mark?
Yeah. I'm just answering a question that Christine had. Yes, we do have charger phone ability at the campsite. Is it are they plugged into a vehicle or they?
So there is a area at Ormiston Gorge, which is a bit of a secret spot, which us guides know where to charge. So when we're there, if you do need a charge, we have there's like an amphitheater there that you can charge from. Um, but in saying that, if you are doing the deluxe comfort, yeah, the whole week you won't probably be able to live off a battery pack. So we will have those options available for you. We can show you what those areas are. So there's no need to worry about having your phone or it dying, because you definitely want to use your phone for those magnificent photos along the way with those walks.
Someone's asked about the animals. What do you think?
Yeah,
Animals.
when I've been there, I've actually never. Yes, you do see dingoes on the walk, and in the morning you might hear a howl, but it hasn't been I've never seen them encircling the campsite, or um, yeah. Have you had any experiences like that?
No, I haven't had any experiences with dingo, but we do got to make sure that we don't leave any food out, especially when we're all going off to bed. Yeah, I mean, we're going in the winter season, so as um as a lot of people know, like it's a dormant season for a lot of reptiles. We do see the odd reptile, either being a snake or a lizard, but in saying that, we're pretty safe with our precautions of being around these animals. Um, Yeah, we like the thing that I do love about Larapinta is the amount of wildlife you'll see along these walks. The bird life is just insane. Like the amount of birds you'll see is just incredible. For a desert, you kind of go, well, hang on, how's all these animals surviving? But obviously along the way you're going to find out information from one of three of us guides telling you how they source their food and also where they like to hang out. But the dingoes, yeah, I can't say I've seen any. But yeah, definitely some reptiles, birds. Yeah, that's about it really. Yeah.
All right, cool. Lots
Spinifex.
the specifics.
Spinifex, yeah, pigeon, yeah. And budgies and zebra finches. Yeah. They're amazing. They're so much fun. Like, yeah, you'll be blown away.
Cool. Next. Yeah, so the 5 day Larapinta in comfort is basically 4 nights camping at Ormiston Gorge, which we've talked about, 4 dinners, 4 breakfasts, 5 packed lunches, and walking snacks. So yeah, bring along some extra snacks if you love snacks, but we tend to use your trail mix, nuts and goodies. It's nice and healthy. We have professional, as you can tell from Carla, professional and passionate guides, and they are exceptional. I think they're all three of them. Whoever you're going to get is 10 out of 10. They're they're very, very passionate and exceptional guides. So you won't be disappointed. Yeah, and the good thing is we transfer, it's pack free with your luggage transported. So once we pick you up, there's no need to, we take care of your luggage from there and then. I don't think it's so one is camping and then the other is a mixture of camping and can we go to the next slide? Oh, so maybe I'll hand over to Carla here. So this goes into your basically the itinerary of your next 5 days.
So maybe
So we start our journey from picking you up from the Doubletree by Hilton. That's where we'll meet you first thing in the morning, and then we'll slowly make our way out to Stanley Chasm. Stanley Chasm is a beautiful area which we get to walk into the chasm. Plenty of opportunities to take a million photos, probably in your first hour. It's a 2 hour kilometre. It's very easy, low walking towards the chasm. It's a perfect little place to see a little bit of an example of the plants that we will have that we'll see along the way. So that's walk one. Walk two is we all jump back on the bus and then we make our way to Ormiston Gorge. which is where we do another walk, which is called the Pound Walk. Pound Walk is 9 kilometres. It's 4 to 5 hours, give or take. The good thing is, like, we don't have to go jumping on the bus to get anywhere from that location. That Ormiston Gorge is where we stay for the next few days. So the thing that I love about that walk is that once you finish, you can pretty much grab your cosy and jump into the Ormiston Gorge waterhole and have a good swim while we set up, your food and drinks for the evening. The actual walk around the pond, the Pound Walk, is actually a little bit loose in rocks, a little bit of scrambling, but nothing too big. It's almost like your little intro into the area. The thing that I love about that particular area is there's a lot of ghost gums, which is one of my favorite plants. They absolutely pop everywhere within the landscape. You'll get familiar with a lovely prickly plant called the spinifex. And also get an opportunity to probably see a little bit of wildlife along the way, and also to just take in that beautiful atmosphere and environment. So, and like I said, we don't have to rush off anywhere after the walk. We're there for the night, so you can have a quick dip before dinner.
Can I? Yeah. When I guided this many years ago, some of the older ladies, if you're not sure on foot, poles are recommended, and in that photo, yeah, I'd use poles. So the end bit is quite rocky finish. So it's a very easy track at the start, but as you're going through the pound, it's just stunning because the walls come up. This isn't, by the way, this isn't part of the Larapinta Trail, but it's so beautiful that you can't miss the Pound Walk. I think it's great. Um, what do you think about gaiters? Good idea?
Yeah, I mean, just to follow off what Mark's saying, I would highly suggest walking poles. Ankle boots are good for making sure that you don't twist an ankle, and also just good support on the ankle as well.
Yeah.
And definitely, like, if you're comfortable, if you've done a lot of walks before and you're comfortable wearing gaiters, then, bring them along. There's no right or wrong. You just do what you feel comfortable in walking in. Another thing that I probably recommend, only because I feel like there's a time when they clock on, and that's flies. So flies sometimes can clock on at about 11 o'clock in the morning, and then clock off, I think, exactly at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So when you're walking, some people find that, doing the Aussie salute can get a bit exhausting after a while. So they prefer to have, they don't want to do that the whole time. So, good, like, hair net's always, a fly net, sorry, is always a good thing to wear. I often carry one in my backpack just because I can get quite annoyed with them after a while too. So they're just a few things I would probably take along with you.
Yeah. Can I add to
That and if it's okay, the shoes, I would say, out of all the walks that we do throughout Australia, this would be the hardest walk on your feet. You're walking on quartzite, and it is, only just half a hardness off diamonds. So just think you're walking on diamonds for 5 days. So your shoes have got to be very, ankle support is very important. And I've got flat feet, so I really like a bit of support through the sole of the feet for the shoe. So yeah, sand shoes is not going to cut it, and I would definitely wear good shoes and go to a stockist and say where you're going, very hard terrain, need good shoes. Sorry. Then we'll go on to day two. Eh? I might start off on this one. Absolutely beautiful day. It's something different now. This is a mountain walk, very exposed. As you can see, there's not many trees on the walk. It's 15 k's, so it's 7.5 k's up it's not a high gradient, but it's just not non-stop going up. So you need a pretty good degree of fitness. As I said earlier in the presentation, we do go very early this day just to beat the afternoon sun. So we walk it in the early morning when the sun's up and in the coolness of the day. So you need to rug up before you start, and then you layer out off as you keep on going. But Carla knows more about this walk than me. I might hand her over.
Yeah. So Mount Sonder is definitely like a bit of a highlight of this, one of many highlights, I should say, of this tour. Um, Basically, we're just going to be walking. I don't know if you can see it, the map at the bottom of the screen, but we walk over a dried riverbed and then we do a climb. Now, in saying that, Mark did say you do need a good, reasonable amount of fitness. This is a moderate to hard walk, but the only reason why we would say that is because it's quite steep to go up. In saying that, we do take a lot of breaks. We do take a lot of moments to, look back and see where you've climbed. So don't feel as though this is something that's a deal breaker, because it's one of those things like we go at everyone else's pace. So when we're in a group, we stay with the group, and we always like to make sure that we have plenty of breaks. So it might take us a little bit to get to the start of the ridge, but once we're up the top, um, if you have a look along Mount Sonder, we pretty much walk along the top of Mount Sonder. So, yeah, once we're up there, it's not too bad. So, and again, there's a lot of rock, and just making sure placement of feet are okay. But it's really amazing, amazing views once you're up there. That first slide that you saw of me, that was me on the top of Mount Sonder like many years ago. And it's just a breathtaking view. I think I've got a canvas at home of one of the many photos that I took when I was up there last, because it's just like breathtaking views. So yeah, you'd love it. And then also just thought I'd add, like if you're a little bit unsure of whether or not you can do the 15Ks, we have got flexible options. So to make, in case you go, hang on, I can only get as far as that first point that you might see on that mountain. We can always, change it that, one guide will continue on with the group and then another guide will come back down, and then we can do a shorter route to the Red Bank Gorge. So people don't feel compelled to do the full 15. If you feel like you can't, that's totally fine. We can adjust and do whatever you guys are comfortable with, really. Yeah. Anything else to add, Mark?
I think you've nailed it.
Nailed it.
As you can see, yeah, every day is different. This next day is from our campsite, so you don't have to transfer anyway, which is great. And it's to Think River. Basically, that's Glen Helen Gorge. So this is a much different environment to the last 2 days that you've seen. This is called a riverine walk, and you're walking through beautiful red mallee and red mallees, and the river red gums. I don't know if you've ever done this, Carla, but you put your ear to the red river gums, and they actually are drinking the water. You can actually hear them
Yeah,
drinking.
you can. So we'll be definitely showing you
Yeah.
how you can hear the lovely gums drink from the creek bed. So the thing that I really love about this particular walk is it's quite a gentle walk compared to your previous days. So if your legs are feeling a bit tired and fatigued, this is definitely going to help this day. And once again, it's another highlight of the Larapinta walk. The thing that I like is that we can sort of have a little bit of a sleep in that morning. We don't have to get up so early because, like Mark said, we're walking out from camp. And the lovely Fink River, like there's many stories that you know, myself or Tim or Danny will talk about, because there's some beautiful information in history about that particular river, which we will cross. Yeah, it's a beautiful walk. We end up finishing off at Mount Sonder Lookout, so you get to actually have this beautiful Kodak moment of just seeing the beautiful Mount Sonder in the background. Again, a lot of photos have been taken there because the views are just insane. They're just amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Anything around that?
Yeah, unfortunately, Glen Helen is closed at the moment.
Yeah, Glen Helen's been closed for
Yeah.
a while, unfortunately, since COVID, I believe. So, yeah, it's disappointing, but probably a little bit after actually
So we
COVID
can't go
times,
there for
actually.
drinks.
No, we can't go there for a drink, unfortunately. No.
Okay.
Day. As you can see, day one's a medium sort of walk, day two's a hard walk, and then day three was an easy walk. Well, this is another hard walk, so we try and have easy then hard, or and push you. This day is going to be one of the harder days, and but as you can see from the view, it is one of the highlights of the whole 5 days. Eagles Landing, Counts Point is a must do. So yeah, it goes. It's quite a 590 descent and a 647. So you're going to get your money's worth this day. But it's well worth the views. I'll hand it over to Carla. Talk a little bit more about it.
So we start at Serpentine Gorge this particular day. And as you can see in the map, we sort of start at one end and finish at another end. The thing I like about this particular walk, we're not walking back where we've come from. So you're going to see different environments along the way. The first bit um, is a bit of a climb, unfortunately. But once again, we take it at our own pace. Even us guides have to take breaks to go up these mountains from time to time because it's exhausting. But we take our time and we slowly make our way up to the top. And as you can see, there's a straight line on that map. We're pretty much walking along the ridge of the mountain there, and then you sort of go all the way to the end where there's Counts Point. That's usually where we stop for lunch and take in the beautiful scenic environment. The thing that I do love about this walk is it's really, really lovely once you're up the top. There's just views everywhere, and there's a lot of different plants in this particular area as well. It's completely different to your previous 3 days. So it's different again. And that's what I love about Larapinta is you feel like you're in different environment altogether, but you're on the same trail. So this one, we go and walk all the way back to Serpentine Chalet Dam, where we finish and we jump on the bus and we go back to Alveston Gorge. But like I said, if you're with that particular day, there'll be one guide that will walk up and take the group, and then usually another guide will drive around to pick you up at the other end. But because we don't want to miss out on the fun, we often run up the hill and meet up with you guys and have lunch with you. And so, yeah, just so that you know that there's always people, like the guides are always around. We're not going to go, hey, on you guys go up there while we move the bus. We'll do it together. So it's a really lovely walk. It's one of my favorites actually, because you get to see Mount Zill, you see Mount Sonder in the background. It's just breathtaking. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
This day is an easier day, and I'll put it in there because the where you go to it's Ingalanga Gorge, and I just loved it. I saw one of my favourite golden whistlers in there, and I was there on my own, and it was just so peaceful and beautiful and gorgeous. Ingalanga, I think, is Arenti for echidna. Is that correct? Yeah. Hmm. Anyway, what I loved about it is that there is some remnants of, your what is it? Your Gondwana past in there. So, beautiful cycads and so when you drive to Alice, it's just desert all the way, and then you go, oh my God, these gorges are just so special and so remote and so pristine and beautiful that you have a real appreciation for where you are. They're just amazing. So beautiful walk. I'll hand it over to Carla. But yeah, it's a special place for me. I love it as a last day because it's a special place.
So this particular walk is 8 kilometres and it's roughly 4 hours, give or take, depending on how quick we are. The thing that I love is it's very undulating, so it's a little bit up and down, but it's not too steep compared to the previous days that we have been walking. The Ingalara Pass, when we go in there, we actually do a little bit of rock hopping through there, but we go only as far as we can with the group. And obviously just, make sure everyone's comfortable and able to do a little bit of rock hopping. The thing that Mark added was that there's these big, massive cycads. They are taller than me. They're humongous, and they've been there for like a very, very long time. So I recommend that, we always have lunch in this area. And then it's a shorter day. So, because basically from here, we're driving back to Doubletree by Hilton. So we usually wrap it up by about 2:40. But the thing that I love about this particular day, it's bittersweet. You go walking and you get to see Mount Sonder in the distance still, but you also get down to again to Serpentine and Chalet Dam. We walk through that area, and yeah, it's just a really lovely area. One thing I forgot to mention was that we go through the Orca pits, which is quite a sacred place, and we get to talk a bit about that particular area. Um, and yeah, it's a really good time. Yeah. Over to you, Mark.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that was the 5 day version. Now this is the deluxe ultimate version. So um, it's it's not, yeah, so it's more expensive, but the value added is that you've got 2 nights at the Doubletree Hotel, so you can freshen up and get some beautiful food at the Doubletree. Plus, the two absolute highlights is at the end of the tour, you get to do a sensational helicopter ride over Dingo Gap, and you can see the range as from that photo that goes forever, 220 kilometres worth. Plus, I don't know if you've ever been to Alice Springs Wildlife Park, but the famous guy, the guy that, oh, the English botanist, what's his name? I should know, not Charles Darwin. He's still alive. Um, yeah, he's on TV shows. Sorry, this is really embarrassing, guys. I can't think of him. But someone might be able to help me and put it in notes. But Sir Richard Attenborough, thank goodness, has gone there, and he said it was one of the best wildlife parks in the world that he's ever been to because it's so interactive. The guides are so knowledgeable. And what we're going to do, if you're doing that tour, is we're going to do a nocturnal show, which, you've got to go there at night. And believe it or not, the when the first explorers went through the centre of Australia, there was eyes all through the place at night. The place was teeming with wildlife, and in fact, it's a bit of a sad indictment of our last 200 years of being here, but we've annihilated some, and there's half the percentage of mammals have gone. Half the population of species of mammals are now extinct. So thanks to cats and all these other things. But the cool thing is you get to see a whole range of very rare species of mammals on this nocturnal tour, and you learn from the experts that know, biologists that know the details, and they're studying them there. So it's really cool. I think it's a must do. We have the whole place to ourselves. I think it's really special to go to the wildlife park at night, have dinner, and experience that and learn off the experts. So that is I want you to go there and appreciate and learn about how rich a place and the good things that the wildlife park are doing. So, and then, hey, it's great to have a helicopter flight at the end. So here's some of the inclusions. Yes, Richard Rowe. Yes, the tents are 4-man, but we only put 2 people in there. So don't worry. Yeah, when you put stretchers and mattresses and side tables and a bag, there's not much room left. So only, yeah, 4-man would be, yeah, 4 very small people. But 2 people very comfortable. So yeah. If a couple go, they have to share. No, no. If a couple go, you get the tent to yourself. So yeah, you'll get that tent. So we definitely put couples to couples together. If we can, we do. If we've got spare tents and it's not too full at all, we can put people in single tents. Yeah, but anyway, that's on a case by case basis. Um, I think there's not much more to talk about that, but I think the nocturnal experience is quite unique and rich and must be done. If you're doing the other experience, you actually can't do the nocturnal show publicly. It's something we've done for private groups. But if you do get the chance, please go to the wildlife park. It is exceptional. So the bird show, all the different shows there are incredible, and you'll get a better understanding of the indigenous, the culture, the wildlife. Yeah, it's great. Have you been there, Carla? Oh, cool. You'll get to do it this
I
year.
haven't been there, but I have been to other places in that area.
Oh,
So yeah,
you'll love it.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the 6th day is day one's just a pre-night where you're going to the wildlife park. Then day 2 is the same. Day 3 is the same, but then day 4 and day 5 have been swapped around. So
Can I just add in there, Mark?
yes,
So just to clarify, day one is staying at the DoubleTree by Hilton. Day 2 and day 3 is at Ormiston Gorge camping under the stars and having the bush tucker food from Danny, Tim, and I. And day 4 and day 5 is back at the DoubleTree by Hilton, where you get your creature comforts back and you're not out in the bush. And the reason why we separate the two, like separate it into two, is because to get to Ormiston Gorge is 2 hours out from Alice Springs. So it's not around the corner. So that's why day 4, when we do the orca pits, it's quite a shorter day, so we can allow enough time for us to get back into town and for you to check into your hotel, get changed quickly, and then get ready for your nocturnal tour. So just thought I'd let you know about that. And then obviously day 5 we head out from Alice, from your accommodation, and then we come back day 6.
yeah. So day 6 is on the next slide because it's the additional day that you get as well to the helicopter, which is a walk from Jesse's Gap to Emily's
Mm.
Gap, which is 8 Ks. It's a shorter walk and it's quite flat, but it's, yeah, again, a different terrain and an area. And then you've got the wow factor of a helicopter flight where you get to see where you've walked. So, do you want to add? I haven't done that walk. Do you want to?
I've done that walk a few times. It's quite a beautiful walk, actually, because you're walking from one water hole to another water hole. And Emily's Gap is a meeting point for a lot of the Aboriginal women. And then Jessie Gap is for the men. So we do a bit of a talk about these two areas. There's also a lot of bush tucker food that we can point out and show you. There's also a bowerbird nesting in that area that we've seen over the last few seasons, nesting in the same area, which is lovely. And there's also a beehive nest in one of the trees, which we can point out, and there's heaps and heaps of bird life in this particular area. So there's plenty of things to see and do to treat those nerves for those that are a little bit nervous about your helicopter ride. We'll definitely keep those nerves at bay by planting plenty of distractions in the morning before your flight. We usually do that walk in the morning and then we go over to Simpson's Gap where we will have lunch and also, to explore and see the beautiful waterhole there as well as seeing some of the endangered rock wallabies that are in that area. We tend to do like a thing what I call spotto if we can see the wallabies in the rock. They're really hard to see, but we have seen them on previous tours. So, and it's a beautiful place to sort of, like I said, that last day to wrap up your amazing experience, a good day to reflect on all the walking tour that you've done. But the helicopter ride is definitely like the icing on the cake because when you get up in that helicopter, it just the sheer sight of seeing everything from bird's eye, it's just incredible. And you get to fly over Alice Springs, Todd River, the McDowell Ranges, Simpsons Gap, which you would have seen earlier on in that day. So yeah, it's a great opportunity to sum it all up, your amazing experience. And then we finish at around 5-ish. Yeah.
Okay, sorry guys. It was David Attenborough. Thanks, Claire. I said Richard Attenborough. Sorry about that. But yeah, and Leanne, thank you. My faux pas. How could I get that wrong? There's another slide. Oh, this is about the nocturnal experience. Um, yeah, I don't know if I need to really, yeah, add more than, there is bilbies, echidnas, marla. Yeah, lots of beautiful species. Yeah, we've talked about the helicopter flight. I think it's just a great way to see where you've been and appreciate where you've been. Do you want to maybe talk about the acknowledgement?
Uh, yeah, so the traditional landowners and the custodians of the land are the Western Arati people, and we like to pay respects to the past, present, and emerging who have cared for the land for over 50,000 years. And we do a lot of the information that we talk about are from people that have shared that information with us, which is lovely. We're very privileged to walk in that area of country because of the fact that, like Mark said, there's not many tour companies that actually are allowed to go in that particular area. So it's, we like to endeavour that we tread lightly and consciously respect the land and the people in the area as well. Yeah.
Yeah, open the floor up to questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Questions. Shoot those questions.
We've been getting lots along the way, but anybody got any questions? Oh, we've done too good a job, Carla. I think everybody's Just put them in your, or we can unmute you. Any questions, anybody?
I've got a question.
Did you answer my question regarding
one of the days looks pretty hard, Mark. I don't think I'm able to do the full walk. Are there
Which
any
day?
Mount Summer sounds pretty hard.
Yeah.
Is there any options? So what do you have other options for people that might find walking
Yeah.
hard?
Yeah, we do every day. This is why we have two guides there. We do offer flexible walking options. Carla did briefly mention this, is that on that day there's two parts to the mountain, and sometimes people might just want to get to the first part, stay there. We put one of the guides will stay there and do up the belly for you, and you can stay there and then go back down easier, or you can take and then go and do the gorge that's down the bottom. So we can offer options if that's.
The one thing that us guides always do is we like to check in with the group quite regularly. So when we get to certain points, we always like to make sure that everyone's still feeling comfortable and confident with their walking adventure, because it's not supposed to be painful and hard work. It's supposed to be enjoyable. So if it gets to a point where you go, hang on, Carla, I really don't think I can go any further, then we can accommodate for that. So, don't ever feel like, you don't want to be that person, but sometimes people need to speak up, and you all know your limits. So we're more than happy to cater for anyone's needs. Yeah. So don't be shy. We can help.
I've also got another question, Mark. On the day of and Carla, for the day of Mount Sonder, you say you get up quite early in the morning. I need my coffee, but there's no coffees on the top of Mount Sonder, are there?
No, but I'm a bit of a coffee wanker.
Okay.
So we go and great question you asked. We go and buy the local coffee, and we from Alice Springs. So there's a producer there of a local brand, and we actually make the most beautiful coffee before you get going. And we actually do take a grinder and a coffee plunger on the walk, and yes, you can have it on top of Mount Sonder. So we do both. One in the morning, because we don't want grumpy people. We want happy. And we'll have it on both spots.
Good to hear.
Cool, good question. Thank you.
And we need our coffee too, right?
Yeah.
Well, did you have a question, Richard?
Oh, Christine's got.
My question that I posted was: is there secure
Christine,
parking?
Oh.
The question I posted is: secure parking available in Alice Springs while you're on the walk?
Secure parking.
Good question. I think you should. Where are you staying when you are you staying at the
I'll be in a camper van.
Okay. Yeah, okay. You're going to have to Google, or if you can't find it on Google, leave it with us and we send an email to reservations and they will find out for you.
I'll drop in the email address to send your questions to.
But there will be places you can leave your. I'm sure there's lots of people going around Australia and they're going off track and they'll be somewhere. And yeah, good question, because we've had vehicles vandalised there.
Yeah. So I'll definitely if you've got any queries or you can't find a place, ask the email that I've dropped in.
Yeah.
There.
Send me an email and I'll look into it for you. But I'm going away tomorrow, the next day. So send it to Walks and they'll come back to you. Yeah. I saw a question from someone else. did you see that question about? There was another question. Sorry, Leanne had a question.
Christine asked about
Oh,
first aid.
Christine. Yeah, our guides carry first aid, but however, if you've got something particular, medicine or medication, you do need to take your own medication. And if something's wrong with you, or you've got a sore ankle, bring some tape or bring your own first aid items, especially if they're specific to let's say if you have asthma, well, you need to, what do you use to treat it? Bring that puffer along, and the guides will, put it in your indemnity form that you do have that issue. But we do carry a lot of these items. We don't carry puffers or EpiPens or all those sort of things. But yeah, you bring your own, but we do supply the normal stuff. We do. All the guides have different ways of treating blisters. So whether it's tape or wool, or they have ways of treating it. So, and we have ankle tape, and we have all the scissors and band-aids, and
We've got plenty of tips and tricks on how to deal with certain problems that you might come across. And the good thing is all the guides are really good with their first aid, and we carry a first aid kit with us in our packs. And we also carry snake bandages with us in case we do come across a scenario like that. In the time I've been doing guiding, I've never had to use it, but you always carry it with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, just know that you're in safe hands. We do have ice at camp. We have had to do the odd first aid with, someone that's twisted their ankle, or someone that has a knee injury that's flared up a little bit, and we put ice on it. So, like I said, if you need anything, always feel free to ask any of the guides. Look, I need a Band-Aid, I've got this blister, or I'm feeling like I've got a hot spot. How would I treat it, Carla? So we know what you can do. Name a scenario and we've probably dealt with it. So yeah, you're in safe hands. So we'll have all that sort of equipment with us.
I'll just jump in quickly. If anyone is excited for this trip and would want more information, please put your email in, or you can into the chat. You can either send it directly to me and I'll get some more information to you, or feel free to call us anytime. Our number is on the website as well as our email address.
Yeah. I just wanted to say a big thank you to all the people that came along today, but an even big thank you to Sam for putting this webinar together. It's exceptional. And yeah, it's been awesome having you here, Carla. Thank you so much for your guiding knowledge and passion for the area. And I'm sure you're going to have a great time. And yeah, have an awesome time, everybody. And thanks for participating. Anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to this season. It's going to be a blast. And if you've got any questions, shoot through any of these questions through to the office. It's going to be an amazing season. Like I said, Larapinta, I hold very close to my heart. I've been going out there for many years, and I absolutely love the area. There's a certain imprint it puts on you when you do go out there. It's a very spiritual place. You'll have some amazing awe moments, and I look forward to sharing it with you. And yeah, I hope that some of you can join us, because it is one of the, like Mark said, it's always in the top 10 walks of Australia, and it's a must to do this season. I really reckon. Yeah, so I hope you have a great time.
Question: When is the briefing? When is the briefing on the ultimate tour? Is it in the morning, or is it the night before?
The briefing is usually the morning of, so it's not the night before. No.
Yeah, Leanne had a question.
Yeah, it's usually in the morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Look forward to seeing everyone.
Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, everybody. Okay. Oh, there's one more question. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Leanne.
Awesome. Thanks,
All right.
guys. This recording will also be on the website very shortly. And keep an eye out for the newsletter for all the tips and tricks about walking. Cheers, guys.